In the near future, the economic situation has struggled to the point that only 20% of the citizens are employed, and the rest of the population are rotting in poverty. Eventually, the government decides to build a wall in the middle of the city, so now the jobless live outside of it, in an area known as the zone, and the actives live in the prosperous city behind the wall. A strict army of guards protects this wall, 24/7. 30 years after the wall was built, the situation in the zone includes a large number of untreated diseases and a lack of safe drinkable water in the zone. Noah is going around checking sleeping people for clean water and tries to steal from a girl when she reacts. Noah's mother Isya appears from behind with a knife and makes her drop the bottle. Suddenly, a huge announcement appears on the screens of the wall, saying that the government will be offering jobs for everyone soon, but the zoners have trouble believing it. Meanwhile, in the city, Reuben and his wife Tiz are getting ready to go to work at Aquaville, the only water company. Their daughter Maëlle is getting dressed in different clothes than the rules indicate, so Reuben has to scold her not to get feigned. He also reminds her to practice her exercises more often because she's mute and she's already seen as an outcast, so she must work hard to succeed when they arrive at the office. They learn that Minister of Labor Monroe is finally being freed after a year of being a hostage because they've reached a deal with the rebels that kidnapped him for the first time in a decade. Prime Minister Nadia visits the zone to give a very fake speech about equality and inform them what the deal is. About the rebels will release her husband Monroe, and in exchange 10,000 zoners will be given jobs in the city under the Solidarity Job program. The zoners are very happy to hear the news, but the actives are worried and wary because they have a negative perception of poor people. After the announcement is over, Minister Monroe is released by the rebels and the guards take him to reunite with Nadia, who asks him in a whisper to announce he was treated well. Monroe tells everyone he's fine, but once he leaves with Nadia in their car, it's revealed he's missing 2 fingers. He's surprised that Nadia accepted the deal, because she hates zoners, but she had to, because Monroe's kidnapping caused an international scandal, and the World Bank would stop lending them money if they kept ignoring the situation at home. Monroe is given new fingers, and his daughter Zoe tells him he will answer questions later, because right now his stress will distort his answers. Meanwhile, No goes to class with Mr. Robinson, who worries that some of his students may be drinking too much Seos gut, an illegal substance some addicts use to replace the lack of water. Robinson teaches them the origins of the current system and says, people shouldn't have to work in order to exist and be someone. Noah thinks that work equals freedom and mentions his father, who won the lottery 13 years ago and now is living happily in South Europe after class. Noah sees Vol stealing things from the school kitchen, but she runs away by escaping through the window at the wall. The zoners are being interviewed to see who gets to join the program. If anyone looks sick because they drank contaminated water, they're instantly kicked out of the line. Aya is interviewed together with 2 other women, but one of them is kicked out because she stinks of anxiety. They're asked pretty intense questions about their background, and since there's only 1 spot left, Aya lies and tells them the other girl is an addict, so she gets the job before they're able to enter the city. They're given a code tattoo on their wrists at Aquaville. Ti is making mistakes in her work, which is earn her 6 warnings. Already, this only stresses her out. More at the same time, Reuben is shocked to bump into the dead body of his director who has worked himself to death. However, instead of mourning, Reuben immediately calls his father Silas, who is a higher up in the company, and says he wants to run for the position. Silas is pretty sick and can't afford proper treatment, but his son doesn't know this. So when Reuben says he wants a better position, Silas immediately wants to help so Reuben can support him when he can't work anymore later. Ti meets with Hans, a co-worker she's having an affair with. They've been conspiring to steal important business data from Aquaville, which they plan to sell and use the money to leave the country. However, Ti hasn't been able to get close enough to Silas. Even if she's family at that moment, a guard finds them and tries to take them away. But Hans quickly knocks him out and